with all kinds of change, it doesn't happen immediately, but I certainly was coming to a point in my life where that was a big, crossroads. The production life is, you know, it is what's you think it is. It's, alcohol, it's drugs, it's rock and roll, travel, get through the gig however you can by whatever means. We're not asking questions.
Mm-hmm.
It brought in, first and foremost, the idea of self-care throughout it, which is something that I had not been doing. And
Welcome to the PlayThink Podcast, a conscious community podcast of visionaries and creatives here to learn, grow, and collaborate together. A podcast to share experiences that inspire and empower playthinkers like you to embrace your unique passions and talents and share the art of who you are with the world. Come along with me, Courtney Euphoriafy, on a ride through unfiltered conversations around empowerment, art, creativity, and of course, play. Let's dive in.
Welcome to episode 2 of the PlayThink Podcast. Courtney Euphoriafy here, and today on this episode, I have Cookie. He is
hello.
Yes. Hello. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
I'm happy to have you here and to have a chat with you today.
Yeah.
So
Always.
let's just start out. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Oh, just the small things.
Just
just what I am, what I do, just in general.
In a nutshell, which is a lot for PlayThink. You're kind of one of the men in charge or people in charge that are running the show. So there's a lot of people coming to you for things, and if you've been to PlayThink, I'm sure you have seen seen
a smiling person driving a golf cart.
Yeah, so tell us what it is that you are doing on this golf cart all this time.
Fantastic. I am the operations director for PlayThink. And that means a lot of things, and we kind of alluded to it. There's a big team that makes PlayThink happen. It takes a whole lot of people. Every minute it somehow takes more and more people to bring it together and make it as awesome as possible. But from where I'm at, I'm covering artist relations and operations on the production side for PlayThink. So that's the music and the technology and the logistics of people getting around and the vendors for PlayThink. Been with PlayThink since 2012. The second year, I missed the first year that it happened, and it's a little bit of a interesting, funny, terrible story of how I got involved in PlayThink. If you'd like to hear it,
I will say,
if you said no right now, that would not be like no.
Actually, if you could just skip that part, that'd be great. I would love to hear it, and I'm sure everybody listening would love to hear about what the story of how you got involved.
Great. So it was 2012. I was working freelance production, which for me as an audio engineer, that means I'm just picking up gigs for local weddings or installations and stuff like that. Really just sitting next to my phone, waiting for it to ring, real kind of stressful life. But I got a phone call, and it was from a person I work with quite a lot. He books a lot of shows, or used to anyway. And he called me, and I ignored it because I was gonna head to Nashville for a little bit of a vacation. And he called me again, and he usually doesn't double tap or call twice.
Double tap. I like that.
So I picked it up, and I don't know what rating we have here, but he was a production guy. So he didn't say what I'm going to say he said. It was a lot crasser. But he said, I messed up, man. He didn't even say hi. He just started with, I messed up. What's going on? He said, I got a festival. It's a little thing out in Berea. I don't know anything about it, but I need a dude to take a PA system out there and spend the weekend out there. Like, okay, cool. Yeah, I can do it. We went through the details of like what's it pay, and at that time he was like, I don't pay anything, just get out there and get it done, because I completely forgot about it. Okay, when did it start? He's like, it started today. So I left where I was in Indiana and went to Kentucky to pick up the PA gear and the van and all that stuff, loaded it up, and I didn't even know it was called PlayThink. I didn't know I had an address and a PA. So I showed up and set up a PA as fast as I could and had a band on stage probably like within 20 minutes, just trying to get through this what I thought was going to be just an awful experience of people yelling at me for being the production crew that forgot about the gig, you know. So I got there and first encountered Paige for the very first time, and she was incredible. Absolutely understanding and forgiving to a degree that, a production team shouldn't get after forgetting completely about a festival. So worked the event, and it went really, really well. The amount of people who just cared, it was an incredible experience, and I knew I wanted to be a part of it moving forward. Made some really deep connections with some of the people who were there that year, people that I'm still in touch with. Obviously Paige and some of the key organizers I'm still in touch with, but patrons who were there that second year. And when PlayThink rolled around the next year, I got a call to my phone from Paige that was like, hey, we don't want to do that. We want you to come out and to be our audio guy. And I was pumped about it. We had talked about it. I was so happy to be involved, and we did another 3 years in Berea where I was just the audio guy. Then we made a move to kind of expand, to change the footprint of it a little bit, to see how we could get more interactions, more people engaged in it, bring in more people from out of state to teach flow shops. And that's when I started to step into a little bit of those operations and working out the actual logistics of it, stepping outside of sound and really diving into the operations. And then when we moved to Terrapin, we had a big stage, which means big production, and we have multiple stages and all these structures. And it's beautiful and it's wonderful, but it's a lot of work. Dying to get back behind a soundboard at PlayThink, and I sneak in every once in a while with the artists that I know and mix a few acts. But now it's expanded my role quite a bit in what I'm overseeing and what responsibilities I end up having throughout the event, which is sometimes from parking cars and getting RVs in their spots to artist relations, where making sure that everybody's taken care of when they come in from out of state, because we're bringing in national acts for this. So they come with their own writers, and luckily everyone that we tend to gravitate to musically is a pretty all right person. They're pretty cool. So it not too many divas by any means.
Good. And that's a fun job to be able to kind of get to meet and interact with some of these artists, especially when they aren't divas like that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So when you first started, it sounds like PlayThink, like you didn't even know about it, you weren't really sure. But now that you've been involved in PlayThink in the last years, what does PlayThink mean to you now? What is PlayThink to you now?
Oh, I mean, I can give you the key words. I think huge. is the most appropriate one. It's a massive influence on who I am today. With all kinds of change, it doesn't happen immediately, but I certainly was coming to a point in my life where that was a big crossroads. The production life is, it is what's you think it is. It's, alcohol, it's drugs, it's rock and roll, travel, get through the gig however you can by whatever means. We're not asking questions. Mm-hmm. It brought in, first and foremost, the idea of self-care throughout it, which is something that I had not been doing. And one of the big things that I was shown immediately when I showed up on that late to a festival that we had forgotten about, they gave so much just to make sure, like, are you okay? Like, I know this is stressful, it's not your fault, we're gonna get through it. And yeah, I certainly would not be anywhere near the person I am today if it wasn't for encountering PlayThink. I think I'm a healthier person. I think I'm still here, which that rock and roll lifestyle, a lot of the guys I worked with aren't here anymore because of what the style of work and what the road can do to you and your decision making ability. So it's massive. And it's I used to think of it as, an extension of my family. Now they are a circle of family. These are my brothers and my sisters, and my kin that I choose to run with, and it's a family I got to choose. And
yeah, I love that. I love that so much. And I actually appreciated that when I was at PlayThink last year. I got to spend some time running around shadowing you a bit, and mm-hmm. Everybody was always asking each other if they were okay. Did you need water? Have you used sunscreen? All these things that are just like, even maybe simple, but when you're out there and you're working and you're in the moment, having those people that care about you and check in with you can be game changer in what your experience is like, whether it's on the production or the attendee side, either way.
It's a big statement to, everybody is busy, but everybody has time. And it's something that you don't see out in, what we call the real world. Everyone's so locked into what they're doing next and, stress of the day. But at PlayThink, and when you're with PlayThinkers, it is, it is giving and receiving. It is, it's one big Reiki session. It is.
Yeah.
It is incredible.
You're right, though. The energy vortex, like when you're there, though, it does feel like that. It's just like powerful. So
yeah,
I love it. So you've been with PlayThink a while, and you've been doing like a lot of the operations and logistics. Festival production can be crazy. Anybody who's worked in any sort of festival or event production knows it can be a little crazy. So what's the wildest story you have from your PlayThink experiences?
The wildest story I have, I mean, let's quantify wild.
Maybe most memorable. Maybe so that will time
what immediately came to mind, and it's a lesson in, challenge versus opportunity. And I'll share another one too that we might take out later. But challenges versus opportunity, when we used to have it at Homegrown Hideaways in Berea, relatively small venue compared to Terrapin. They had one bathhouse with a couple of stalls, and it could only hold so much water, and it can only run so many people through it. And year 6 or 7, maybe it was earlier, it doesn't much matter for the story, we could not run the showers anymore, and it is 95 to 100 degrees, and people just need to cool down in some way. So Jessa and Nate, who owned Homegrown Hideaways, they're also volunteer firefighters. So they brought out a fire truck and parked it on the bridge that was the little creek that ran by, and they literally hosed playthinkers down. So in the middle of the festival, there's workshops going on, and there's bands on the stage, and then a fire truck with sirens comes in and just starts spraying water, and everyone just converged, just left everywhere to get in this creek and get hosed down. It it was one of those things where you kind of look around and you go, "What is happening? Oh, okay, cool. Everything's fine. This is good." But because of that, and it was so well received and such a weird, awesome, practical thing that even though we didn't have those issues in future years, we kept bringing the fire truck out, and we did a daily PlayThink shower for everyone.
I love that. I love how you guys got innovative with it. And we're like, okay, how can we fix this and make this fun for everybody too, right? Like, because and I'm sure as the production, the moment you see like sirens in the fire truck, you're like,
what's happening here?
That's good. That's funny. Well, one more question as we're wrapping this up, because I know you're really involved with the music and the artist when it comes to PlayThink. Can you speak to a little bit of just like the artists that we've had and maybe how the music lineage of PlayThink has changed over the years?
Great. Yeah. So the big thing that we always look for first are people who are in the PlayThink community who express interest either into stepping into music or already have an existing group, and we want to see more of them. We want to support them, and we want to help them succeed by putting them out there, getting some money in their pocket, and getting to play a festival. Then the other acts, it's whatever has really spoken to Paige throughout the year. Like, what are you vibing to? What music has resonated with you for the past 11 months? And reaching out to them directly to try to get them on the books. Recently, Nate has come in, and he's been a huge help in being able to have that arm that reaches way out west to get these LA artists, Nevada artists to come in. So it's really is pulling national talent and international talent to come to the middle of Kentucky into the holler to play some awesome music that we've been listening to through Spotify just to chill.
Yes, I love that. And the music acts, I feel like they get better every year. Like I find local people to Kentucky that I get to experience some of their stuff or get introduced to, and then I also get to see like some bigger acts, like you said, that I have listened to on Spotify, or I love the music choice always tends to be very conscious at PlayThink, and what you guys do choose to put out there. Well, it's been really great talking to you for this part. We're going to wrap this portion up, and there will be a second part 2 on PlayThink University.
There's a second part?
Yep, on PlayThink University.
All right.
You gotta subscribe and join. There's a 14-day free trial, so over there we have lots of classes, workshops, all things that you can find at PlayThink Festival, but online. And where can listeners find more of you, Cookie, if they wanted to connect or had questions or anything like that?
If you want to connect with me, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, all under Lucius Cookie. I have a number of other pages that are connected to there, but yeah, just type in Lucius Cookie, find me, reach me. I want to talk to you. I want to hear from you.
Yes, and he has lots of other really awesome, amazing projects that you are always working on. So highly recommend, there's a lot to dive in. I highly recommend you going to check it out. Cookie is a rad human, and we are super happy to have him here.
Yay!
Doing PlayThink stuff, so. Awesome. Well, we'll see you at PlayThink University for part 2, where you can learn more about what it's like booking artists and having artists and being an audio engineer, music production guru.
Subscribe.